Okay, so I chose this tag with the 2 roses up there. Oh, I didn't cut out my tags yet. Well, it gives me the opportunity to show you how I cut them out because of this cute top. And remember to double side your tags. Doesn't matter on the 2 that are glued to the side, but it matters on the center one. If you don't have your center one be from the same paper, if it's not from a threesome, then you don't have to back, because this one and this one that I use for the inside are glued down. Alright, so I cut out both sides. Alright, so now for doing this part, I'm not a fussy cutter. I cut into the corners. This is a trick from applique, from quilting days. And you always want to cut into the corners first. And that way when you get there, you don't have to pivot. So these are still tricky for the curve. Well, they are for me. And I do distress in the corners here. I do distress this top part because of the... Oh, you know what? I don't have to do this on this one because this is the one we cut down. So good. I'm glad I realized that before too long. Okay, so how do we get this curve onto this tag? So what I do is I use tracing paper. Just a sheet of regular tracing paper, just something you can see through. And I determine, what do I want to be in here. I laid this on here, and basically I didn't want any of these scallops to show on here because I really wanted the frame to show. So I also, for this one, although I love tulips, decided not to go with the tulip. So that is going to be cut off. So when I realized I was going to cut off the tulip, I moved this up until I basically could have all these humps out of the picture. Okay, so what I did is I drew the arch on here because I didn't want to have the tulip showing. And on this one, I have the flowers up even higher. So this was up even higher, and it actually caused a bit of a problem where I had to make these tags super short because they were hitting this. So I think actually bringing it down a little bit is a good idea. So that's where it's going to go. And it's the only one that has to be cut, so it's not, we don't have to duplicate it. All right, so then I'm going to cut on that line. Okay. All right, and I'm going to magic erase. Oh, I hope this is right. I'm a very slow crafter. I'm very deliberate, and I work at something until I get it the way I want it. So I can see where my line was. So I'm going to just cut off this one little section and it'll be good. Okay. So then this goes here and this goes here. Okay, perfect. So this meets at this point, and this meets at the top of the X. Alright, so however you want to accomplish that, go for it. And now I'm going to glue this down. And I'm going to line it up with that. Okay, right there, right there, right there. Okay. Did I drop? Is that a pencil on there? Nope. Nope. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. There you go. Now I put the eraser into the glue, I think. Okay, well, distressed is okay, because this is distressed. Oh, I forgot to distress that. I would have distressed that, so let me just see if I can get some of that distressed feel up there. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I would have distressed this bottom too, or cut it off. It's funny how you just don't think of everything when you're on camera. Okay, so I'm going to darken this side a little bit. There you go. Okay. All right. You noticed I put glue around the edges, right? And you're probably thinking, well, why didn't I do the middle? Well, first of all, I don't, because I think glitter glue, I don't know, I think it's changed. Now it beads up and it leaves little humps and lumps, and I'm not big on, getting my hands dirty in this project. I don't really like to, and I've ruined so many brushes, and I don't really, want to keep doing that either. So I try to just use a little bit and then stick it on as soon as possible. And the reason that I didn't want to put glue in the middle also is because this is where we're going to cut the hole. All right, so this hole we have cut, so we know then where to put this hole. Yay! Okay, so make sure your papers are lined up really well. Really, really well, because this is it. If you mess up here, it's not going to be great. But there is a little forgiveness actually in doing it this way, because you're going to have a picture behind this, and then you're going to have a picture behind the other. So, so they could be slightly off, and it wouldn't really be noticeable there. All right, and then we're going to draw up the pencil line. Okay. And then I also want to draw the pencil line on the tag that's going to go on the other side. So again, we'll cut into the, oh my gosh, we'll cut into the, straight into the corner. I know a lot of you were quilters first and then came to paper. That's how I got here. Although I've always loved paper, always, and had a ton of it, so it wasn't a hard jump. And now I have a ton of fabric that I'm selling, for one thing. The link's in my Instagram link tree. And but I also then can use, lots of fabrics in my journals because I have so much and I love it. It's not like I've lost a love for fabric, not at all. When I say fabric, I mean every kind. And of course laces and trims and I think most of us are like that. I like the texture and the variety and the detail that they bring to a page. I'm so glad that I found out about this art form because, wow, it's so fantastic. It just really is. And I love the community. Love the junk journal community. Okay, so you can see that distressing here is just really, really needed. And that's okay because Nicola did distress these tags. So it's just basically covering up the white areas. Okay. And here. And here. And here. Okay. All right. Okay. So here's how I cut my hole. I am not great at using this X-Acto knife, but I found it came in handy here. So you can punch a hole with your manicure scissors and just, do it that way. Or here. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to divide it up like a pie. Going from pencil line to pencil line. Careful not to go over. Hopefully that went through. Wow, brand new blade as of the last one I made, and still it doesn't really want to cut. Okay. I don't know where I learned it, but if you cut a circle into pie slices, then you can keep that circle going. And I have found it to be true. So whether you use an X-Acto knife or a small scissor to cut from the center to the edge, it will help. And you can't really put a paper this big through a die cutter if you had an oval. It has to be, the exact size, and it has to be on that paper, so it's most likely going to be a do by hand. Oh, that's why it was tough, because we're going through 2 pieces, so it's 64 pounds. Okay, and then I believe I used my little scissors to cut. So the first one's the toughest, of course. I think I'll start at the bottom. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this doesn't even want to split. Oh my gosh. Well, it's nice to know the paper is such good quality. This is HP presentation paper. It's called Matte Premium. I buy it from Amazon. And it is half the price that it was at Office Depot. Last time I bought it, it was like just under $15. Office Depot, it was $32, and that was pre-pandemic. So who knows what it is now. Okay. So there might be little areas that you have to go back and trim later. Don't get too hung up on getting it perfect at this point. One of the things about picking tags that have a lot going on is that you can hide more. So I recommend. All right, so there you go. Now you've got your hole there. Now the tag that goes on the back. Okay, so it's going to go here. It's going to set up there, and the hole needs to be in about the same distance here, because I want it within this heart. So it goes up into the frame. Otherwise it's down quite a bit lower, and I rather liked it. Although I have to say, on the first one I did, the circle was lower. I don't know, it's up to you what you want to do. I think it's you decide for yourself. I am going to put this tag right here. I want the base to line up, and I want the side to line up. Now, how did I do that? Maybe I went from the back. Let's see if I can figure that out. Be here. That's about right. Okay. Alright, and then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to draw that circle. Okay, so then this is going to go here. It's going to go completely into that blue flower. I don't want that to happen. I want that blue flower. Oh, I can tell this is higher because this was higher. Well, there you go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to magically erase this, and I'm going to make a maker's decision on the spot. This is how I operate. I change stuff up. I'm sure you do too. And I don't look back. So I outlined, I made the circle. So I don't want to cut out that blue flower. I love it. I love how the flowers go around the frame, go around the circle. So I am going to this here, and I'm going to draw. Oh, I'll need to cut that out though. Oh, what I can do, I'm going to draw through this circle. So it's going to be a little lower. C'est la vie. I think the blue flower is important to keep. So there you go. Maybe I'll move it over a little bit more. Whoops. Okay. Alright, let's see. Oops. Did I just move it? Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. You know, this risk-taking, which is how I see it, because in my life, in my career, in my work, I'm careful. And so to take risks, go with the wind, is good. It's really good to do that, you know. We need to not be in our cubby holes and always playing it safe. And this is just paper. Granted, I'm premiering my station, and so I do want to, give you good advice, and I want to be able to, be happy that it's going out there in Cyberville. But bottom line, I want to like the piece, and also this is going to be there's another part to this, and actually this is going to be going into a giveaway that I'm doing soon with another thing that's going to be a surprise. So I'll hold off on that. But yeah, I'm going to give away both of these. This one and this one. So I want it to be well done. And you're going to have to be a YouTube subscriber and an Instagram subscriber in order to be in the drawing. And then leave a message on the YouTube when I announce it very soon, next week probably. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and ruler. And I'm going to get this thing cut. And we're at a single layer, so it's much easier to work with. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to put our pictures into the backs. So I believe this is the picture that's going on here. It is. Okay. So the way to work with this tag is that it needs to go on an angle, because I really like the hand, and if we did it straight on, the hand, you can't really see it. So going like this, it ends up getting you the hand and the flower. So it's a little bit tricky that way, but not a big deal. Alright, so this I also discovered looks better rather than having these. Do you see these little lines in here? These little dots, I mean. Having them go across, I felt like they were more visible than having them on the diagonal. So I diagonaled those as well. And I used, that's not good. This is not a great glue stick. It's by Avery. It's very sticky. That is absolutely true. But it is so wet. It has a wetness to it that is problematic. Okay, so I'm using this strictly for the fabric. So the stickiness is actually helpful. And I think giving it a straight, sticking it down so it doesn't flop through the circle is a good idea. So okay, and then this is going to go on top like that. I want to get as much of that hand as I can, so it'll look like this in the book. Okay, nice. Okay, so and then I'm going to get my art glitter glue. And putting it right around the circle. don't mind if there's some little bit of gap there. I think it actually makes it look more, you know, I like it. I like it with a little bit of gap, so I'm good. All right, so then once I've got that, then I can do the rest. Oops. Is that gorgeous or what? That's one. There's this color and this color in the Rose Blush Kit. Oh my gosh. I love them. I love that netting. That's my favorite part. Normally I'm not a pink person, but I just love that netting so much. It's a net lace. Okay. Alright, so then I need to cut this. And this. And then you can go around and, you know, tack these down. But they don't really matter. What matters is that circle. And I leave all this extra on because it just gives more weight to the piece. But I put a piece of tape across the top so that when the little tags come down, they don't get stuck on anything. So let's just do that now. Okay. Yeah. So these little tags are going to come down. I'm going to go inside, and that way it can slide right by it. So it's handy. Okay. Good. Okay, so we've got that done. Oh my goodness, that's good. Okay.